please help my future son-in-law. He went for his driving test yesterday. He did his first 2 hours, as they do when they go around. After they've done that, they arrive at the test centre. He goes in, gets out with the test instructor. They go to the car, where nowadays you have to check over the car. The moment the guy does that, he sees that the front tyre is ballooned where it's been curbed, and he says, we can't use that vehicle, and walked away. He's lost his chance to do his test. Where does he stand?
Sorry, I'm assuming it's the driving instructor's car. Is that right?
It's the driving instructor's car, so it's not down to his responsibility to maintain it.
Yeah.
The tyre's damaged, so he's done his 2 hours, which was a total waste of time because he couldn't do his test at the end of it.
Do you know how or when I'm so bad at anything mechanical, but could the ballooning tyre have occurred during that 2 hour drive? Or would it have been something pre-existing?
I wasn't in the car at the time. I guess not, because he would have said he'd hit the curb or something. But like you say, it may have happened. I can't tell you that bit. I'm afraid I wasn't driving.
So if it happened because... Let me start again. The driving instructor has an obligation to provide a car that is fit for purpose and fit for your son to take a test in. If he turned up 2 hours before the test with a car that had a dud tyre, he's in breach of contract, and your future son-in-law can sue him, should he want to go that far, for the lost money and the wasted time with the test, or the wasted money that will be paid, A, having more lessons, B, having another test. There's a caveat to that. I'll come back to it in a moment. If, however, the damage to the tyre happened whilst your son-in-law was doing the 2 hours driving before the test, it's not the driving instructor's fault. I don't know which one it is. You don't know which one it is. You might need a mechanic to know which one it is, but I just don't know how long it takes for tyres to get damaged like that and inflate. There is a caveat. There is a caveat, Nick, which is the measure of damages that your future son-in-law would get is to reflect the additional cost of taking a second test and any additional lessons he has in between, if he has lessons to keep up practice, which he would inevitably have. Yeah. However, if he'd failed that first test, we'll never know, but if he'd failed that first test, he'd have incurred those costs anyway. So,
the frustrating bit for him is that because of COVID and the strikes that went on recently, there's massive delays now in getting a retest, and his Part 1 runs out in 3 months' time.
Oh, that's just horrendous. Can he get it renewed?
Well, he can, but you've got to go through that test yet again. And he was very bad at getting through that one. It took him 3 times of doing that.
Oh, which
isn't... you've got to do all the bit on the computer.
Yeah. I know. I've got similar age children. I've gone through it myself recently. It's stressful. I know that, but what a judge is probably going to do if this goes as far as a court is say, I'm making up this statistic, Nick. I'm totally making this up.
I know, it's awful.
60% of people pass the test first time. Right? I'm totally making up that 60%. 60% of people pass their test first time. Therefore, I'm going to assume there's a 60% chance Nick's son-in-law would have passed the test first time, and a 40% chance he would have failed first time. So a 40% chance he would have had to incur all those extra lessons and pay for a second test anyway. Therefore, I'm going to give him 60% of the cost of the extra lessons and a second test. Do you follow the logic of that?
Third test, actually.
Sorry, say again?
This would have been his third test.
His third test. Oh my God! So he's probably actually below the average.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what I'd do here, Nick? Do you know what I'd do here? I'd try to strike a deal with the driving instructor for some free lessons. Don't go for litigation here.